Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that right now. Hit that subscribe button right below. All right, let's get to some of the Sunday action. Los Angeles Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. The NFC West is about to get pretty intense in the coming weeks here. 6-2 Rams against the 6-3 49ers. Rematch from their Thursday night football game just a few weeks back. Remember, the 49ers pulled that off in overtime. With a couple big plays in there. Rams are favored by 3.5. Over-under is 50.5 from our friends over at FanDuel.
And, of course, as we know, the only analysis that matters for these games in this division is rock, paper, scissors. Shanahan always beats McVay. End of story. Next.
All right, let's get to the next game. Let's get to the next game here. Ironically, I can't remember the exact parts of the series in the last couple of years, but once they got to the NFC Championship in 2021, McVay got the win. McVay got the win.
It is interesting, I think, now because the Rams are suddenly leaning so much on these tight ends, and the 49ers have no linebackers remaining, So they're this no-name defense that's being patched together with guys that, were on practice squads or special teamers. They now have to cover a bunch of tight ends, not just the Rams wide receivers and 11 personnel.
In addition, my secret Palazzolo value metric, we've got Matthew Stafford. He would be leading my MVP race if I had one. He's the most valuable player.
If you viewed such things as a race.
Palazzolo value metric has Matthew Stafford as the most valuable player in the NFL so far.
Wow.
And look, you could lay an egg this weekend, but I'm going to take halfway through the season to apologize for talking so much about Matthew Stafford's back.
Yeah.
Early in the season. I know it seems perfectly fine. We were a little worried. He's getting an epidural. He's in a van.
To be fair, those were all fairly significant, concerns. I will say my analysis, at least now, this is wrong as well because I literally haven't heard a peep about his back since the season started.
Nothing.
I don't think. My theory was that we would hear about it every week, but it wouldn't actually affect anything. It was just going to be like, Stafford, he's on the injury report, he's not practice, and then he goes out there and he's like no looking left, right, and center, and still looks like Matthew Stafford, and we would just go through the whole season like that. But actually, the second the season started, it's just like we forgot he ever was dealing with a back injury, and he's just healthy.
The back injury may have distracted me a little bit. It's just a fascinating last couple of years from Stafford. Remember, let's turn back the clock. It's almost like a Mayfield in Cleveland type of run, where you have 2021 MVP type of candidate. They go on that Super Bowl run. He was outstanding that year as they traded for him. 2022 team gets falls apart. They get hurt. He doesn't play well. It was just a mess. And then it was like, all right, coming off this Super Bowl win, how will the Rams even be able to build this thing back? And they bring in all the rookies and Puka Nacua, and Stafford's awesome again. I thought he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league in 2023. With just a lesser team, and he's dragging them did they go to the playoffs that year or on the cusp? They went to the playoffs that year. And then last year, it was like this time of the year, last year, maybe a little bit later, all of a sudden Stafford stops playing well, and the defense is unbelievable. And the defense starts giving up 10 per game, 12 per game, and the defense is dragging the Rams to the playoffs last year. And so you've had this up and down last couple of years for Matthew Stafford, but I think he's back to the 21 level, the 23 level, making when Stafford's on, you get some of the feel stuff. You get some of the no looks, and you just you can tell that he's feeling it, he's confident, and he used to only do that a couple times a year. Now it's like, man, he is bringing that every single week. Stafford's playing well, and I think it coincides with the confidence he has with Puka Nacua when he's out there. And then, having Devontae Adams. And I think you're seeing just a much more consistent week in, week out Matthew Stafford combined with, mixing it up in the running game and having different ways to win and the defense still being pretty good. It's a very good Rams team right now.
Yeah, it is. They look very impressive. This is, this is the part of the analysis that I think we did have right heading into the season was this is a team that they gave the Eagles the best game of anybody late in the year, down through the playoffs. They were close-ish to being able to beat the Eagles. Nobody else even got, within an arse's roar, as they say, of the Eagles during the playoffs. The Rams did. They actually had a shot at that. And if they had beaten the Eagles in that game, they would have been against Washington in the NFC Championship game. They would have been favorites in that game, and then who knows how things would have gone against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Like, it wasn't very far, even though like there were a couple of games away. Like, you don't have to change that much before you're like, this team could have won a Super Bowl last year, and they added Devontae Adams to that team. They added, other bits and pieces to this team. They should be a Super Bowl contender, with that young defense getting a year older and stuff. And I think you're seeing that now. I mean, the whole NFC West, other than Arizona, looks like they're in that bucket. But, like, they could and should be a legitimate Super Bowl contender this year.
Other side of it, remember the last time they played, the Niners were just unstoppable on those first couple drives against the Rams. And so that's the dynamic. I think on paper, you look at a depleted Niners team. You look at a team that has no pass rushers that are either good or healthy at this point. They've had to blitz much more in recent weeks. And then a Rams team, again, good on both sides of the ball, a pass rush from the Rams that should be able to create havoc against the Niners. On paper, it should be an advantage for the Rams. They are favored by 3.5, but you have this whole McVay-Shanahan factor, and Shanahan's always seemed to have it's not even that they're necessarily wrinkles, but just a feel for how to attack McVay's teams.
And the last time they played is a perfect example of that. It's like, it's why we're joking that the only thing that matters is it's the rock, paper, scissors stuff that happens in this division. Because, I mean, the last time they played, I'm trying to find the line right now, but the Rams were heavily favored. They were expected to win that game. 7.5-point favorites they were in that game. And then the first drive, because the 49ers were so badly banged up and depleted and everybody was injured. So 7.5-point favorites, we all picked the Rams to cover that line. And then drive number one, San Francisco goes out there and just looks like exceptionally good and hung in the whole game, won the game because, there's some weird devil magic that happens in this division.
Well, it should be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. It's Sunday at 4:25 this week. I think it's just four games in the 4 o'clock window. This will be the biggest one because it's Detroit, Washington. Washington's beat up. Arizona, Seattle should be good. But just 3 games in the 4 o'clock window. It's the Rams by 3.5. Where are you going to go with this one?
I am going to go with the 49ers. I've learned my lesson.
By the way, I think so Purdy's still questionable. I don't think there's any word on him as of Thursday right now.
Right.
So whether it's Mac Jones, look, Mac played really well other than, that one throw the other last time around. Just wanted to make sure we touched on that quickly. Mm-hmm. I will take the Rams.
Because you haven't learned your lesson.
I haven't learned my lesson. I'll take the Rams on the road as 3.5-point favorites. What the heck? What am I doing? They're going to get the better of the Niners this time. Harry's going to take the Niners. He understands.
Yeah. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a video.
You heard the man. Subscribe.